Hey, so I'm going to read two of my posts from Reddit for this about the concept of lowering the importance of desires and why that matters. This starts with a quote from Neville. Belief is the one and only thing that matters when it comes to whether or not something you create mentally will manifest. Truly, I tell you, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Belief is neutral. Belief does not include anxiety, meaning, or significance, and most of all, it has nothing to do with how important it is to you that this thing actually manifests. Neville tells you to plant the seed and drop it. So many people find this confusing. How do you drop the desire for something? The desire is part of the seed. Once the seed is planted, the desire drops away by definition. But there are lots and lots and lots of other feelings, etc., that masquerade as desire. This is one of the failings of having to use language to convey an idea. Say you want to find the perfect object. You really do want it, but if you never got it, you're okay with that idea. That's when things manifest easily and effortlessly. For me, a perfect example was my car. I wanted a hard-to-find car that was a specific year, make, model, color, and trim. This was a car that was recent but discontinued. I fully intended to get this exact car. The idea that I might not be able to end up getting it occurred to me as a possibility in passing, but that's it. That thought didn't bother me. While I was sure that this was what I wanted, without a shadow of a doubt, I also knew that if for some reason I didn't get this particular car, that there were other awesome cars and I'd get one of those. I knew of the existence of one car that met my criteria. It was located 1,000 miles away from me. I didn't want to drive that far, and I wasn't ready immediately to buy when I saw it, so I put off even thinking about actually purchasing the car until a time when I was ready. In the meantime, thoughts about the car crossed my mind frequently. I was already driving a different year and color of the car I wanted, so this was especially real to me. This happened all the time. I also was always fully intending to get the exact car I wanted. The day I was ready to get the car, I looked again at the website for the car 1,000 miles away and started to try to plan how I'd go about driving there and getting it. Really not wanting to make that drive. I briefly thought, I wonder what other colors are available. Maybe I could compromise on the color and save myself a trip by finding it locally somewhere in a different color. What ended up happening was I found the exact car, year, make, model, color, and trim, at a dealership 45 miles away from me. It had been mislisted as a different color. It wasn't until I opened my mind a little about one aspect and got a little firmer on not working so hard to get the car that I noticed a car that was supposedly navy blue, according to the listing, but was actually black, located nearby. And I bought it less than 6 hours later. To boil this down, I really want this thing 100% for sure. I intend to have it, and I am sure that I will. I've imagined, and I believe it. That's planting the seed. However, it's not important enough for me to stress out about, obsess about, feel like my life's meaning is dependent on, feel like my self-worth as a human being is dependent on, because nothing is that important. That's dropping the seed. When you get the dropping the seed part wrong, that's where the hellacious experience comes in. And Neville wrote these books in the 40s and 50s. Keep in mind, all the big authors on this type of new thought were writing from a time before the polio vaccine, television, birth control pills, Novocaine. A lot has been discovered about energy since then, and the energy of a person who is calm and cool about something and the energy of a person who is internally freaking out constantly are totally different. So you have to keep that in mind when you're thinking about the language that Neville uses. If it were modern day with everything we know now, it would make a lot more sense. We're working with energy when we work with the mind to create. Assigning a level of importance to something creates mental resistance. It interferes with belief. It affects your energy and your behavior. So how do you reduce importance? Realize the importance is an illusion, because it is, if for no other reason than we all die. In 100 years, your manifestation is going to be utterly irrelevant. This experience is about you exploring and enjoying in peace and bliss. The meaning of your life does not reside with the outcome of this manifestation or any manifestation. Your self-worth does not reside in the outcome of this manifestation or any manifestation. You can have anything you want, so why stress about it? Sure, maybe it's a possibility it won't happen. I know this is what everyone is worried about. Allow that thought to come and go without judging it or allowing it to create anxiety, because really, it's not that important. If you can get comfortable and okay with the idea of it never happening, that's paradoxically when it has the best opportunity to happen. This is what dropping the seed means. It's got nothing to do with forgetting it or not wanting it to happen anymore. It's a mental, energetic correction, so to speak. This is why X's show up when you stop caring, why everything happens when you stop caring. So I'll link to that post. The second post I wanted to read to you. I've posted a couple times about lowering importance. When you want something too much, you psych yourself out. It makes it harder to feel certain you'll get it because it's on a pedestal. Reality transurfing explores the energetic component of this concept, but it also makes sense from a Neville perspective. The cornerstone of consciously manifesting is certainty. It's that feeling of knowing. It's the reason for the visualizing and whatever else you do to reach the state. When you reach the state of already having, doing, or being, there is a deep sense of calm about it, in my experience. It's difficult to reach that sense of calm if, in your perception, your life, happiness, success, or meaning, or whatever, rides on your manifestation happening. That artificially inflates the value of the thing you're trying to get. That you will find the sense of meaning or happiness from an external object is an illusion. The importance, therefore, is an illusion. This doesn't mean you shouldn't want it or won't get it or anything like that. But if you don't see through the illusion, one of two things will happen. You'll either get the thing and it won't do for you what you thought it would, or you won't get it at all. Either way, you won't be satisfied. The third option is correct your perception about the importance of the thing. Then you can obtain it and enjoy it for what it actually is and actually has to offer. The objective is control and mastery over thoughts and emotion. From the right state, you can create anything. Changing your thoughts about how important something is no different than changing your thoughts about who you are or what you believe. If one thing is up for grabs, so is everything else. There isn't inherent importance in your success, your relationships, or anything else. Whatever you've deemed to be important to you, you've deemed to be important to you. And you have every right to change your mind. It's no more delusional to do that than to convince yourself that you're rich when in 3D you are broke AF. Same thing. Once the importance of a manifestation is adjusted, then it becomes so much easier to just chill out and allow it to happen. When you bring down the importance of something, you will feel a change in your feeling toward that thing. You will feel a change in your body, and that you should interpret and understand is the lowering of resistance, whatever that means in energetic terms that we don't understand yet. I don't claim to be an expert, but I've got a pretty good handle on the importance thing. It was one of the missing pieces that finally filled in for me from reality transurfing. I talked about how I lower importance and allow things to happen on a video, which I will link below. There really is an art to it. It takes a lot of practice catching stray and errant thoughts and correcting them and resisting the urge to take action in certain ways. But I've been pretty dedicated to this for, at the time of this writing, about 6 months, but now it's been about 6 years. And I can tell you, like anything else, it gets easier and more natural, even with ways of thinking that have been around your whole life. So I will link to both of those posts and the video that was referenced just now. I think that this is something that as much for the success of your manifestation is important for your experience of the manifestation. You know, if you get something and you're still miserable, were you really successful? I guess on paper you had a successful manifestation, but if you're still viewing it the wrong way, then you will still be unhappy. So I don't know, like, can we get sane here and reorient so that things can actually be both obtained and enjoyed instead of just obtained and not enjoyed or never gotten at all? The choice is clear, my friends. Anyway, I hope you have a great day.